Does running 10K still feel totally out of reach? I get it. And even if you're running already 5K and it still feels tough, I promise you can go further. Hey fellow runners, and welcome back to the Running Bible Intermediate Edition, a series for all the runners who've mastered the basics and are now hungry for more. Committing to your first 10K is a powerful decision. It's a way to show yourself, I'm not just running around randomly, but I'm gonna take it seriously. And that's why I'm going to show you how to train smart, avoiding all the typical mistakes when it comes to approaching your first 10K. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to build up for your first 10K, step by step, realistically, and in a way that perfectly fits your life. So let's get started right away with my tips for you. So the first thing that you wanna ensure if you wanna run your first 10Ks is to run comfortably 5K. And if you haven't watched my video from 0 to 5K, I'll leave it here. In there you will find everything you need to run your first 5K smoothly. And I'll also tell you that you don't have to fly through your 5K. It will be more than enough to just cover the distance without any break. And let me also tell you that being able to run 5K continuously without feeling fatigued at your own pace will be more than enough. You don't need to make any stunning PBs or performances. So keep practicing, keep showing up in your training until running 5K feels less intimidating and more familiar to you. The second thing that we want to ensure is to pick a date, so to give ourselves a real target. Because motivation without a deadline, it fades fast. And if you're in need of a motivational boost in your running journey, then check out my video about this topic. Let's choose a specific date for your first 10K, and if you're still getting confident in running continuously 5K, 3 to 4 months is an ideal timeline, because it gives you structure and a little bit of push, but without feeling rushed. Tell a friend or the world, whoever you want to, but make it official. That's how you turn a nice dream into an actual goal. So now that we have a deadline in mind, it's time to stick to a routine. And my advice, you don't absolutely need to run every day. On the opposite, it will be counterproductive. Aim to run 3 to 4 times per week with recovery days in between, and just be consistent week by week. And if you really get bored on those rest days, then use them smartly by doing some mobility, strength training. Keep your body happy and strong, but don't overtrain. And take a look at my video about runners' routines that will surely help in there. Alrighty, now that we have a plan and we train consistently and smartly, it's time to level up and increase our mileage. But how do we do that? Absolutely gradually. So I know it's tempting to want to push more and more every time, but your body and especially your joints need time to adapt. If you started running recently or in the past year, which I suppose you are if you're watching this video, then keep this in mind. Our muscles are faster than our joints to adapt to new stimuli. So while it might seem that your muscles are ready, your joints might not be yet. So what is smart to do is to stick to the 10% rule, and it tells to not increase your weekly mileage by more than 10%. This tiny bit of patience and common sense will help you avoiding unpleasant situations like shin splint, knee pain, or fatigue. So now we level the training a little bit up, because once you're running 5K effortlessly, you have your consistent running routine and add a little more mileage week after week and feel good about it. It's also time to consider the spice up element. What am I talking about? Speed work. Because let's be honest in here, running always at the same pace, time after time, it gets boring, right? And it also limits your progress. So let's start incorporating a very cool training format, which is also one of my absolute favorite ones after 15 years of running. I'm talking about fartlek. I know the name sounds pretty funny. If you aren't familiar with this format, it's basically a mix-up of faster and slower paces, and it's a great way to add some fun and variety to your training. If it's your first approach to this format, keep it spontaneous. Pick a point in front of you, for example, like a tree or a bench, and run a little bit faster towards it. Then recover and repeat by choosing another thing you see in front of you. If you don't want to make it visual, then you can also use music to guide your fartleks. So try adding it once per week in your training. Alternatively to fartlek, you can also add some faster strides at the end of your runs. And speaking of variety, we can also add more of it by doing more longer runs. So add a longer session every week where you keep it really easy, keeping the 80-20 rule in mind. 80% of your training super easy peasy and 20% a bit more intense. Because slow running is where the magic happens. And make sure when race day approaches to be able to run at least 8 to 9K. If you can run already 8K, that's more than enough. You will make it. Last but not least, I would really recommend you to find a valuable running coach. I know this part is actually optional, but honestly, I think it really makes a difference. Because a coach will give you structure, personalized plans, and most important, guidance and support, so that you don't have to guess your way through it anymore. If you'd like to work with me, feel free to have a look at the links below and reach out to me anytime, because my goal is to turn your maybes into your hell yes. So let's go smash those 10Ks. And remember, fellow runners, your first 10K won't be about being fast. They will be about having fun and finishing. It's about proving to yourself that you can do something ambitious and accomplishing it. And that's really the best uplifting and boosting feeling we can ever have. So quick recap. Get comfortable with 5K, choose a real date for your goal, run 3 to 4 times per week, and rest and recover well in between. Progress slowly, add a tiny bit of speed and a weekly longer run, and bonus, find some support, because that finish line is closer than you think. And if this video helped you, smash that like and subscribe buttons and comment, I heard it helps. I'll see you soon and feel your run!